I just saw a dude standing right there. We are at Robe Canyon Historical Park, just outside of Granite Falls on the Mountain Loop Highway. Going down the historic Robe Canyon along the Everett to Monte Cristo Railway. Again, continuing our exploration of the old railroad out to the mining towns of Silverton and Monte Cristo. We'll be walking across the top to the edge of the canyon and then down some switchbacks and along the river. So come along, it should be fun. There's always so much to see out here. It's very green. It's a gray day. Last week in September 2024. There's a sign up here. We like signs. We're hoping to get some real nice fall color. Maybe we will. We'll see what's going to happen. There we go. We're coming up on the sign. Robe Canyon Regional Park. Sections of the trailhead are steep and uneven. All right. Here we go. Robe Canyon Historical Park. We're going to go this way.
We are beginning our descent down to the river and into the Robe Canyon. According to the trip description, it's about a 300-foot drop in elevation.
It's real pretty in here.
You can kind of see the bridges down below us in this set of switchbacks. Here's the first bridge we're crossing, and then down there are further bridges down.
You never know what you're going to come across when you're on these hikes into the wilderness. Look over there. There's an old car that's been pushed over the edge and rolled down the hill. We have reached the bottom. Hillsides here, running along what I speculate is an old road, or it could be the rail line. It's really pretty out here. How this is built up.
I was just thinking that.
See, this is built up. This might be a rail grade.
We take a minute to interrupt your programming to enjoy these beautiful trees. Look at the moss growth on these trees. Look how mossy, green, dense and dark this is. Just see how beautiful that is. So when Geezer and I are out hiking trails, especially trails that are in areas loaded with history, we're always looking at landmarks, what might have been beforehand. But this trail we're walking on is 5 foot down on either side the trench before it continues off into the woods. On this side, same over here. You can see this a little better because this goes down. There's somebody's trail has taken a trail back there. So in addition to the last little snippet of video, this is the other thing we look at. If you see long straight trails through the woods and a cut in the trees, it's usually indicative of a rail line. So, and the rail grade.
Long, straight, and flat.
Long, straight, flat, and really sweeping, winding corners if there are any.
Okay, we have since learned that we were on what is called the Robe Y. From the point we entered the bottom of the canyon right here, and we started our hike down along this pathway right here, we were looking in the woods on both sides here, noticing the ditch. And then we continued down, and we came and we said, well, look at that long straight line right here. That's this line right here. So from this point, we knew we were on the original rail line. However, what we didn't realize at the time, and we have since found out, that the rail line actually came this way here and came around and went further up the valley this way towards Monte Cristo. And then they had a connection here that came over here, and this became what is known as the Robe Y. This trains could come in and turn around and do all that, and that's what we were looking at right here. So now let's go back to where we left off, which is right about here, and continue with the exploration.
All right. I don't know if this was a retention side to the mill pond they had out here in Robe. This really looks like it's a built for retention pond, but if you look down this, there's a long straight cut through the woods. This is definitely for sure part of an old rail line. There was a logging sawmill operation here in Robe early on before they moved it to Everett, and I think the mill pond is over here. You can see how this drops off to 5 or 6 feet down, and it's just flat straight across. They had a huge mill pond out here. If you look hard enough, you can see the history. We've heard it for a while. We're coming up to get our first glimpse of the mighty Stillaguamish River. It is definitely up since we were here a few weeks ago on the lime kiln where it was barely flowing. There has been some rain, so the river is up some. There's our first sighting of the mighty Stillaguamish River. Look at the moss up in that tree. That tree is covered in moss.
Geezer just made a discovery. He's going to tell you about it.
If you look down here, you can see the water running out of the hillside. I don't know if you can tell, but there's a oily sheen on top of that water. It's coming from over here too. Look over here. It's over there too. We're just outside of where the town of Robe was. There's an old rail line right here that ran along this river, and we're not sure what's happening here, but that is oily residue running out of the hillside. So there's something in the ground here.
Well, this is something we haven't seen too much on our trails. Look at that forest of horsetail there. That's massive.
That back in there was the town of Robe. It was in there somewhere. Kind of boggy right now, but that would have been Robe. Got a couple of iron retaining bolts. There's one down over here, you can't really see it. And there's a couple more right here. And just further up here is a crossing. There's a bunch of bricks stacked up in a river crossing. I'll show it to you when I get there. Okay, so right here where all these bricks are, this was part of the viaduct system they put in place. Like, look at this big piece of metal right here. Right there. And you can see some retaining logs in the hillside. You can look all over there too. This was part of the damming system and the sluice system to bring water off the river and into the sawmill. History's everywhere out here. All right, we're continuing on. Trail looks like it's washing out through here more and more. There's another little slough coming in. Wondering if this was a natural or part of the man-made system. I see metal in the ground over here. That looks like rail line. It's not. Metal pipe, metal. This runs out to the river. All right, look what we got here. We got the remnants of the wood flume in here. Look at that. Look at this old flume. There's all kinds of steel, all kinds of metal, all kinds of brick. We are in the flume to the sawmill. There's all kinds of wood down here. Look at that. That's wood right here. That's wood right there. There's a flume over here. I'm standing in the old flume that comes this way. Look at it. Look at it right here. flume right here. There's a retention system right here. There's metal in the water right here. There's a gate or something. This is part of the flume that came out through here. That water's nasty. There you go. It's part of the sawmill flume. That is really, really cool.
Here, as Geezer mentioned, is the old flume that would have been the channel that they would have sent logs down to the river. And this, along with all the other artifacts we see in these pictures, are what is left from the Canyon Lumber Sawmill started by Truett Robe in 1892.
All right, from last we were here, we made this trek down along the rail line through the town side of Robe, where we found the old mill that we just looked at, and now we are about to begin our way to come into the deep Robe Canyon, where we'll find the tunnel. So that will be coming next. So let's get back to that.
That was really cool seeing that flume back in there. Really, really cool. We're continuing on. The river's over here. We're starting into the thick canyon part of the river. It was here that they made their mistake in bringing the railroad through. The indigenous people told them, "You don't want to bring your railroad through that canyon." They said, "What do you know?" Well, they knew that this was a torrent. The entire valley drains through this one river canyon. And this river is impassable when it's draining. More on that later.
All right, the sun's coming out. It's a beautiful trail, seeing some fall color. Let's do some first-person action cam.
See that? See that right there? That's a rail line. That's part of the old Everett to Monte Cristo Railroad. Look how pretty this is in here. Look how pretty this is. Look at that thing over there.
So if you look at this trail, you can see where it's been washed out. Look closely, you can see all the rock that was built up. But you can see how steep that is right there. Right along where Geezer is pointing. And we're going to keep going around this trail. The trail winds on this side of the river, goes around there. And we're hoping to get to a couple tunnels. They put a total of 6 tunnels along this hillside at one point when this railroad line was first built.
Look, I think we got some cross ties up here. I think we got some remnants of cross ties right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you look up over here, down over here, right there, you can see the rail line continuing. Here we are, continuing on with this retaining wall. There's some pins or spikage or something in the ground right there. There was some behind us as well. You can see we're still walking along the edge of this wall right here. See it? It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that wall. Gotten past that beautiful remnants of that wall back there. Look at this canyon up in here. Look at this canyon. Absolutely beautiful. Doesn't look like it, but that river gets this high. Look at the high water scrub over there. And it comes through here in the torrent. Like I said, the whole valley floods through here. Has to come down this canyon. end of the natural hiking line is right up here. Everybody goes past it because the train tunnels are past here. We're going to go down to the train tunnels. There's some more signs of it in the ground. Some pins to hold that down. And then you can see the concreted in rail line.
All right, getting back onto the subject of the raging river coming through here. As we fly in with this drone shot, take a look at where we are, and you can see the level of the river down below us. Now, as we transition over to some high water footage of the canyon here from 2018, you can see the waterfall on the left and the river on the right. Oh, coming back, as the camera moves out, you can see that same hill cliff right there. It's like 30 feet down. And then as we're going to transition, hey, hi, how are you? So now we're going to go back and take a look at the river again, and look at the water. Look how high it is and how rough it's coming through there. Now let's come back and take a look at the rail line as we move across. See the rail line, how it's sitting above the water, that high edge there. You can see how overgrown it is, and the cutout wall back behind. And now we're going to transition to and look at the water going through there. Just look at that. That's a raging torrent. All right, coming back to the rail line again as we move further down. We move along. You can pay attention to the guy. He's sitting down here. We spoke to him. He's waiting for his kids who went further down. He's going to play a little part in this tale a little bit later. But let's get back to that raging river one more time. That's the canyon as it wraps around behind tunnel number 6. That's just amazing. All right, look at that fall color as we come back into where we're standing, turning down, looking at the river. All right, let's come back in and pick up the hike from where we were.
Got this waterfall off to the right here. And obviously one of the many reasons that this was there's so many washouts. We get a lot of water coming down off of this into this Stillaguamish River. But in the meantime, we can absolutely enjoy its beauty.
Look at the rock sculpted out by the water. And you can see the rail line continuing. First tunnel's around the corner.
There. There's the bottom, the foundation of it. As you can see both rails going off that way. We haven't yet reached where the tunnels are. I'm not sure if we'll reach it today. We hope to. But the first tunnel we came to, there was a series of 6 tunnels on this rail line through the Robe Canyon. Most of them are no longer. There may be 1 or 2 that are still somewhat visible. But they got tired of cleaning out the logs that were being pushed through there and them getting washed out. So they blew the top off of a couple of them. So they just end up being, you can't really tell that there was a tunnel there. Anyway, we're off to find some more history and see some more relics along this trail. So ahead of us is obviously a pretty major rock slide. One of the many things and reasons why building a rail line through this canyon was such a risk. So we're going to scale this. This is our banana split challenge for today, to get over this. We just climbed over that. We're back on the rail line. And this is the canyon. More of the canyon. We're coming around, seeing some really stunning footage. Stunning fall color. And more of the continuation of the rail line into that tunnel. You see dead in the middle of your screen. Look how amazing this is. The steep sides, wall on this side, river and canyon and wall on this side, all the way down.
You can see the wall right here, all cemented in place to hold the railroad back. Looks like it's getting undercut by the river right there, but look at this river canyon through here. Look how rough that is. I did say there was a tunnel up here, and here it is. Look at this. Look at this.
inside the tunnel, first tunnel you come to, outside of the Robe Canyon. This canyon, or this tunnel, appears to go all the way through.
Looks pretty good right here on this side where the rail was. I should try to fly my drone through here. You can see the rail line in the bed as we get through the tunnel. It's not so hard. There's one end. Yeah. Continue through the tunnel to the other side. There's some trees down over here. Years ago when I came through here, you could get beyond this to a next tunnel down. I don't know if we can continue on through here. That line, that rail line log in there. The river runs through here sometimes when it's really up. What they found when they cut these tunnels is this is where the river actually wanted to go. And they did the river a favor. And these tunnels kept getting washed out year over year until they cemented the lines into the ground. You know you're with the right girl when she has a smile on her face walking through a train tunnel.
Town of Robe. Look at how tall this is. This is just incredible. And to think they dug it with pick and shovel, hand dug. That is just incredible. You look at these amazing canyon walls and how tall this canyon is. You're getting some beautiful fall color along this river. And then of course, this big guy right in front of us, he's been laying there for a while, but he was a big son of a gun right off the railroad tracks. This country is rugged and ruggedly beautiful.
Look at these colors in here. The sun is trying to come out. It's bringing some light. Look at that. Look at this wall that we're down below. Look how steep that the hillside is in this canyon. That tree leaning right there is actually leaning against the hill, straight up and down.
Just came around through a little bit of along the wall, just following the river down. Look at this view. We're on an edge right here. This is just incredible.
After a really bad washout section, we're back onto somewhat of a flat trail again, which is very welcoming. It's a lot easier to walk on a flat rail grade than it is on treacherous ground. Look at this hillside, man. Look at that color. Look at that. It's absolutely beautiful. History aside, this is beautiful in here. You know what time it is?
What time is it?
It's first person action cam time.
No way. First person action cam.
First person action cam, activate.
Okay, here we are at our second tunnel.
sound of the river is echoing into here. I've got to fly my drone through this. This may be the end of the trail. I don't remember if it goes on any further. There's another tunnel. It's just right up the way over here. I think this is as far as you can go unless you really want to try to climb over that. But there's another tunnel, supposedly, just right up there somewhere. Look at the retaining wall washed out. This tunnel in here. I think the next tunnel is just right up around that corner, but that's pretty treacherous to get across right there. This will be the end of our hike today. This will be our turnaround point. All right, we've made it back to the first tunnel. See a drill mark right here. I don't know if you can see it, it's right there. There's another one right here. All right, there's the first one. Right there's another one. I just saw a dude standing right there. There ain't nobody there. Go stand over there. Go stand right there. Go stand where you were. Right about there. Jennifer was standing, face that way. Jennifer was standing there. I turned around and looked over and looked back. There was a dude right there, standing there. Had a hat on, like an old timer's hat. There's a guy down back there behind us at the other one. I thought it was him. When I looked back, he was gone.
Well, we're about the last part of our hike to through Robe Canyon. It's been quite the adventure. We're about to do the final ascent, the 300-foot climb to the car. We've had a good hike, but we're pretty tired. So we've had a great time, seen some pretty cool stuff. Even saw our friend Ebenezer on the way.